Hey guys, how we doing and how we feeling today? Okay, so on this episode 36, we're going to talk about none other than Midnights by Miss Taylor Swift, the music industry herself. Um okay, so at the time of this recording, it's the 25th of October of 2022. Almost Halloween time, 6 days away. Okay, so we're gonna start with the marketing that went down for this album. So there wasn't any song release prior to the album release, which was, as of the time of this recording that I already mentioned, it was last Friday. Um, it was, hang on, October 21st, of course. Just doing the math in my mind. Okay, so the marketing here was pretty genius because Taylor did a lot of teasing, played a lot with the title of the album, Midnights, played a lot with the clock and the hours of the day and everything in between. I love that she revealed the track list pretty cleverly. I would say an ad. I don't know what it's called, but she basically was like with a lottery thingy, and there was like balls with the name of each song. So each one that came out in each video had a track name on it. And finally, she revealed that there was going to be a collaboration with Lana Del Rey. So yeah, now let's get into the album itself. Okay, so I'm just gonna preface this by saying that, okay, so I know, of course I know, I, Emilio, know that there is a 3 a.m. edition. I heard it, but the 7 additional tracks, I mean. But for this review, I'm just gonna stick with the standard edition, the 13 original tracks that we got on Midnight that very day. So just to keep you guys on the clear. Okay, so let's get into the album, shall we? So the album is 44 minutes and 8 seconds long, so it's under 45 minutes, so it's not that long of a listen. It's just the right amount, I would say. 13 tracks, of course, 13, Taylor's number. So heading into the opening track, Lavender Haze, Taylor immediately pulls you right in with the crisp production, lyrics, and vocals. This is an immediate standout track from the album, and the fans can confirm it. I myself am a Swiftie, but speaking objectively here, it is one of the favorites of the fandom. It sets the tone for the rest of the album pretty nicely. The title alone piques the listener's intrigue. So yeah, I mean, it's one of my highlights. So let's move on to Maroon. So this is gonna be quick. The song gets better with each listen. It really does, at least in my opinion, in my experience. I have listened to the album 2 times. Yeah, and partially a third time, but I didn't make it all the way through. Then, and again, I love that Taylor is playing with different colors, lavender, maroon, playing with tones of purple and red in this case. Then moving on to Anti-Hero, the lead single, excellent lead single at that, another one of my highlights. Then, and of course, we had the music video for Anti-Hero that very midnight. Then moving on to Snow on the Beach with Lana Del Rey. So okay, maybe this is gonna be a little controversial, but I have to say it. Lana's feature here feels like wasted potential because, I mean, Lana Del Rey is already a quite established and seasoned artist. We've talked about her before on the channel. On the on the podcast, and we reviewed Blue Bannisters last year actually, and yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of hers. I do enjoy and listen to her music when new music comes out, but I respect her. Respect her. Sorry, I can't speak. Respect her as an artist quite highly. Um, and I feel like she deserved more presence on this song because the fans know, or people in general that already heard this song, that Lana is there, but only during the chorus and as like she's singing in the chorus, but she doesn't have a verse. So yeah, I mean, but fret not, the song is pretty good. It's still one of my highlights, even though it may not seem like it by what I am saying. But yeah, I mean, when Taylor announced that that Lana Del Rey was gonna be featured on one of the songs, and she's actually the only artist featured on the whole album, it was a pretty big deal on so many levels. So I just hope that they collab again, maybe on Lana's next album, and Taylor's on there, and they can actually sing together, or just have Taylor in this case do a verse on the song. But yeah, I mean, it's just an opinion. But anyways, yeah, as I said, the song gets significantly more enjoyable with each listen. The vocals during the chorus are especially soothing, thanks to Lana also, and quite pleasing to the listener's ears. Now, moving on to track number 5, You're on Your Own, Kid. Okay, so this is the newest / 10th installment of the now infamous Taylor Swift track 5 trope. Her most personal track on each album, that's what that means. And now moving on to, and I also saw that many Swifties were connecting with this song. I connected with it as well. However, it isn't one of my standout tracks. Now, track number 6, Midnight Rain. Okay, so the use of auto-tune here is somewhat unwarranted. However, that's what I thought on my first listen of the album. On the second listen and third partial listening session, the auto-tune, I found it more tolerable and made more sense. Of course, within the context of an overall feel / vibe of the song with each listen. Now, track number 7, Question. So, to put it short, this is a pretty solid song. This is actually a song that kept me like thinking, got me thinking. Pretty introspective song. Track number 8, okay, this is a really good one. Vigilante Shit. So, another one of my highlights. So Taylor channels her bad bitch side pretty cleverly in this song. The song gives me strong Reputation vibes in the best way possible. I mean, of course, it's Reputation we're talking about. The production is immaculate, and Taylor is definitely shading dissing someone here. I couldn't pick up on someone that she's referring to, but she's definitely talking about someone. And you know that when Taylor is doing this kind of thing, you have to put attention. Better than me. Now, track number 9, Bejeweled. Okay, so this is gonna sound maybe a little random / funny, but the first few seconds here sound a lot like Candy Crush, the game. We all played it, and it actually fits perfectly with the title, Bejeweled. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of that. And there are a couple of lyrics that stood out to me the most that are Taylor sings, I want the penthouse of your heart and diamonds in my eyes. I love that, especially with Diamonds in My Eyes, that Taylor is playing with this whole concept of bejeweled, diamonds, sparkles, Candy. Now, moving on to Labyrinth, track number 10, almost at the end here. Okay, so listen up. This is easily the most forgettable track on the album, and I saw that quite a few fans think the same way as me. However, it's not a bad song by any means. It has redeemable qualities, and actually, okay, before I get to that, the production can come off as low-key annoying, and it even takes you out of the song. However, the song becomes more enjoyable with each listen, but still, out of the 13 tracks, it is the most forgettable one. Now, 11, track number 11, Karma. Okay, so this is pretty on brand for Taylor. One of the best tracks on the album. And with that said, of course, one of my highlights on the album, Taylor is channeling once again her bad bitch / Reputation era side and vibe. Very reminiscent of her smash hit Look What You Made Me Do, lyric-wise. And Taylor sings, me and Karma vibe like that. Ask me what I learned from all those years. Ask me what I learned from all those tears. That's pretty straightforward, I would say. Now, moving on to track number 12, Sweet Nothing. Taylor sings, outside there push and shoving, you're in the kitchen humming. All that you ever wanted was sweet nothing. This is a pretty and delightful song, and as you can see, the lyrics are pretty deep. And now, the last track on this album, Mastermind, which Taylor is clearly one of those kind of people. Mastermind, this is a pretty solid closing track. The title alone already piques the listener's intrigue, interest, and curiosity. Taylor sings, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Strategy sets the scene for the tale. I'm the wind in our free-flowing sails. You know that I'm a mastermind, and now you're mine. So Taylor masterfully, no pun intended, ends the album on a high and assertive note. As she should, of course. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this about the 3 a.m. edition, 7 additional tracks. The 2 tracks that are pretty noteworthy to talk about or mention in this case are The Great War and High Infidelity. Especially The Great War because it's track number 14 in this case, and it kicks off the 3 a.m. edition, 7 additional tracks with a bang. And that's it. So, okay. So basically, Taylor is touching on pretty interesting topics and themes in this album, which are, like karma, revenge, digging stuff from the past, looking towards the future. And, also, I want to mention that anti-hero especially, I love that concept of being an anti-hero. You're not either good or bad, a hero or a villain, you're an anti-hero. And I think that's pretty relatable because there are people that are very complex. For example, I consider myself a very complex person. Taylor is no doubt a very complex person, so it's a gray area and it's a pretty interesting concept to explore, and I'm glad that Taylor did. Now, okay, so this album is pretty good. That's an understatement. It's quite impressive in all the senses. Lyrically, sonically, it's very varied. I love that Taylor is pulling from different eras and different aesthetic sounds, vibes from within her discography. You hear a lot of 1989, Reputation, Lover, kind of sounds, and even from even further back and the most recent albums. So there's a lot of everything for someone. For everyone. So yeah. Now, the most interesting question I like to answer with each review is this one. Is this album Taylor's best album? it isn't. You want to know which one is? 1989. That, of course, is my opinion, my objective opinion, but it's still my opinion. And just want to say that Folklore, I consider Folklore to be the runner-up here. It was a cross between 1989 and Folklore for me, but 1989 takes the win. Why? Because it's 13-track long as Midnight, so it's concise. It's not very long. All 13 tracks have a place within the album, within the context, within the story. It marked Taylor's full-fledged transition to pop music, and she stuck the landing. And I mean, there's a reason why a lot of people consider 1989 as a pop bible within the pop stars, pop music. Okay, so what score do I give Midnight's? I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was pretty close to being a 5 out of 5 for me, but alas, 4.5 is still a pretty good score. So yeah. Now, before I go, if you want to check out more of Pop and Bop stuff, you will want to check out us out on Instagram and on Twitter at Pop and Bop. And then if you want to check us out on Facebook, it's Pop and Bop, just simply like that. TikTok, it's Pop and Bop at Pop and Bop 1, and coming soon, we're gonna be on YouTube also. The channel already exists, but there's not any content yet. But it's also called Pop and Bop, as with the Facebook handle. So yeah, guys, that's it for my review of Midnights by Taylor Swift. This has been Pop and Bop. I'm Emilio Fernandez, and thank you so much for listening. See you next time.